Hi everyone. My name is Antonia Ginsberg-Klemmt, and I'm studying physics and environmental studies at New College of Florida.
I'm Elliot Vasquez, and I study management information systems at the University of South Florida, saying hello from sunny Sarasota. Next slide.
We've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. Today we are introducing GismoPower. Solar on Wheels defines how we exploit previously untapped surface areas for regenerative power generation, residential driveways. Next slide, please.
Very nice. I like it.
GismoPower's mobile electricity generating appliance, known as MEGA, is a patent-pending portable electricity generating appliance that integrates a carport, a high powerful bifacial photovoltaic system, and EV charger into one system. The MEGA is a grid-tied system that both charges an EV and powers the household.
Driveways and parking spaces offer an underexploited solar generation potential. There are approximately 82.64 million single-family detached homes with driveways in the United States in 2018. Next slide. Solar on Wheels fills the gap for people who don't have the right roof, rent their homes, want to move, or live in bad weather-prone areas, and want to easily store their panels during inclement weather. Next slide.
GismoPower system is deployed as a mobile appliance, avoiding the soft costs associated with custom engineering, design, and especially permitting. The utility patented rack can accommodate technological improvements and advances that might come along over the years, such as stronger panels or modular-based microinverters.
Our niche is aimed towards moderate income Americans who would not normally be in financial position to afford rooftop solar. We fill the very important gap because this technology is available now and today.
Next slide, please. Kurt Mouse, the senior engineer, founder, and CEO of Solar Direct, the oldest and largest solar installation company in Florida, has already committed to installing GismoPowers all over the state.
Mr. Moss sees that his installers will have a much easier time assembling a mega system on residential driveways, allowing for quicker and more effective solar installations, perhaps resulting in several Gizmo installations in one day. Much more effective than rooftop. Next slide, please.
A 9.9 kilowatt dual mega system costs approximately $16,500 to produce, and that's the price when buying the components at a retail price. Once GismoPower starts mass manufacturing, we can assume a minimum of 20% reduction in the manufacturing costs.
This 9.9 kilowatt dual mega system can generate approximately 13.6 megawatt hours per year of renewable energy, an amount which would otherwise cost over $1,900 to the resident, whether they rent or own. In southern states with more sun, this system would be even more powerful. Next slide, please.
Rounding up for comparison and using our retail cost for components, we could manufacture today a 10 kilowatt mega system for $16,000 and sell it for $18,000 and still be less than 2/3 the price of rooftop solar.
Electricity bills are skyrocketing, and folks are hungry for a solution to electrify both their homes and charge their car. Depending on the location and size of the system and how much electricity one uses, the system can pay for itself in approximately 6 to 7 years. Next slide.
GismoPower is enabling technology which has its challenges ahead, particularly in the realm of regulatory issues. Up until now, there has not been a UL certified electricity generating appliance which can be plugged into a 240-volt outlet.
GismoPower adds a PV deployment option in addition to rooftop and ground mount systems. We look forward to working with utilities to ensure that all homes across the nation can participate in distributed generation. Next slide.
Today's $9.1 billion solar industry is growing at 5.6% per year, and millions of Americans are trying to figure out where to install solar panels on their property. Success is defined by the amount of megas that GismoPower manages to get on driveways across America, especially here in the Southeast, where every solar panel really gets a bang for its buck.
Once we are manufacturing and selling at scale, the mega system can make over 1% of the total solar market, achieving over $797 million in revenue in 10 years. The mega owner succeeds because they ultimately offset their investment with electricity costs and add EV charging costs over time, not to mention shading their car. Next slide.
Our team, with the support of New College of Florida and Harvard Law School, has what it takes to see this plan through. Next slide. And thank you, Jack, Energy Tech Up, and everyone for listening. You can learn more on GismoPower.com, and we are now open to questions.
Good show. I understood every
so
word.
much. So we'll hand over to any of the judges that have a question.
In shock.
Hey there, this is Chris in Orlando. Another great presentation. Love the idea. In terms of competitors, who out there is doing something similar? That's one question. Secondly, why grid tied?
I'd like to know.
I will answer your first question. We have not seen any direct mobile carports. There are stationary carports, but those, so basically you can go around in California. They do have carports, which are, there's just fields and fields of solar carports, which, as mentioned, in the first presentation actually was also solar carport, which was like, yay, another one of us. So those would be our sort of competitors, but on wheels, a mobile electricity generating appliance to our extent does not exist. And as for your second question, which remind me again what your second question was?
Grid tied, honey.
Grid
Grid
Why
tied.
grid tied? Although I know
Why
that I
grid
only get
tied?
one question, so I tried to change the rules there.
Sneak in there.
Into that, I can answer really quickly. Batteries are very expensive, so we're trying to make it as affordable as possible.
Thank
And when
you.
you are grid tied, and if your system generates more than what you consume, it goes directly into the grid, and you are paid for the surplus that you're generated. Therefore,
As long
really,
as
you're
we
getting,
keep the
instead
net
of paying for
metering,
electricity,
honey.
you're basically getting paid to generate instead of paying for what you're consuming.
Thanks.
Thank you, team. Appreciate it. So next up, we'll have